Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Echo Talk Studio. I'm Layla, and we're really excited to have you with us today. If you're watching Echo Talk Studio for the first time, this channel is specially created for people who want to improve their English through real conversations, simple explanations, and meaningful topics. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who wants to learn English in a natural way.
And I'm Majnu. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your support helps us grow and it motivates us to bring more useful English content for you every single day.
Today's topic is something that connects with everyone's life. We're going to talk about how to talk about your motivation in English. Motivation is a word we hear very often, but when it comes to explaining our motivation in English, many learners feel confused.
That's true. People usually say, I am motivated, but after that, they don't know what to say next. They don't know how to explain their feelings, their reasons, or their purpose.
Exactly. And today, we're going to help you speak about your motivation in a clear, confident, and natural way. No difficult vocabulary, no memorized lines, just real English.
Because real English is not about sounding perfect. It's about expressing yourself honestly.
Majnu, let me start with a very basic question. What does motivation mean to you personally?
For me, motivation means the inner strength that keeps me moving forward even when life becomes challenging. It's the reason I don't quit when things get hard.
That's a very powerful definition, and it sounds very natural. Listeners, notice that Majnu didn't use complicated words, but the feeling is very clear.
Yes, because motivation comes from the heart, not from a dictionary.
Exactly. Now, if someone wants to talk about their motivation in English, the best way is to start simple. You don't need long sentences.
You can start with sentences like, I feel motivated because, or my main motivation in life is.
For example, my main motivation in life is to become a better version of myself.
Or, I feel motivated when I see myself improving step by step.
These sentences are easy to say, easy to remember, and very effective.
Many learners think motivation only means success, money, or a big career.
But motivation can be very simple and very personal.
Yes, someone can say, my motivation is to make my parents proud.
Or, my motivation is to live an independent and confident life.
These are real motivations, and they sound very natural in English.
Another very common motivation for many people is learning English itself.
Absolutely. You can say, learning English motivates me because it helps me communicate with people around the world.
Or, I am motivated to learn English because it gives me confidence.
Confidence is a very important word when we talk about motivation.
Yes, because when you feel confident, you feel motivated to try new things.
Now let's talk about motivation during difficult times.
That's very important because motivation is not always high.
Sometimes life becomes stressful, tiring, or disappointing.
In those moments, you can say, during difficult times, my motivation keeps me strong.
Or when I feel tired or demotivated, I remind myself why I started.
That sentence shows emotional strength and maturity.
And it's commonly used by native speakers in interviews and personal talks.
Now let's talk about motivation from people.
Yes, because many people are motivated by their family, teachers, or role models.
For example, my family is my biggest motivation in life.
Or my parents' struggles motivate me to work harder.
This kind of motivation is very emotional and very strong.
You can also talk about motivation from yourself.
Yes, self-motivation is very important.
You can say, I motivate myself by focusing on my goals.
Or, I stay motivated by reminding myself of my dreams.
Dreams and motivation are closely connected.
Exactly. Without motivation, dreams remain dreams.
Another great way to talk about motivation is by sharing a short personal experience.
For example, I was very shy before, but my motivation helped me become confident.
This shows growth and change.
And it makes your English sound more interesting.
Many learners are afraid of making mistakes while speaking.
But when you talk about motivation, mistakes don't matter.
What matters is your message.
Now, let me ask you something, Mashnu. What motivates you when you feel low?
When I feel low, I remind myself of my purpose. I think about why I started my journey and what I want to achieve.
That's a very honest and inspiring answer.
And anyone can say this in simple English.
Yes, motivation doesn't need advanced English.
It needs real thoughts.
Before we continue in the next part, let me give our viewers a small practice tip.
Take a moment and complete this sentence in your mind. I am motivated because.
Say it out loud, even if your English is not perfect.
Practice builds confidence, and confidence builds motivation.
So let's continue,
We'll continue this
our
conversation
about
and go
motivation.
even deeper
in the
in the
first
next part.
We talked about what motivation means and how to explain it in simple English. Now let's go a little deeper and talk about how motivation changes at different stages of life.
Yes, because motivation is not always the same. What motivates you today may not motivate you tomorrow.
That's very true. When people are young, their motivation is often different.
For example, many students feel motivated to study because they want good grades or a good job.
In English, a student can say, I am motivated to study because I want to build a strong future.
Or, my motivation to study comes from my dream of becoming successful.
These sentences are very common and very natural.
But as people grow older, their motivation often changes.
Yes, adults may feel motivated by responsibility.
For example, someone can say, I am motivated to work hard because my family depends on me.
That sentence shows responsibility and maturity.
Another example can be, my motivation is to give my family a better life.
That's a very strong and emotional motivation.
Now, let's talk about motivation at work.
Yes, because work motivation is a very common topic in interviews and daily conversations.
At work, people are often asked, what motivates you?
In that situation, you can answer simply.
For example, I am motivated by learning new skills and improving myself.
Or, I feel motivated when my work is appreciated.
Appreciation is a big source of motivation.
Yes, everyone likes to feel valued.
Another good answer can be, I am motivated by challenges that help me grow.
That sentence sounds very professional.
And it's often used in job interviews.
Now let's talk about motivation and failure.
This is very important because failure can either break motivation or build it.
Exactly. Some people lose motivation after failure.
But others become stronger.
In English, you can say, failure motivates me to try harder next time.
Or, I see failure as a lesson, not an end.
That shows a positive mindset.
You can also say, my past failures motivate me to improve.
These sentences show strength and self-belief.
Now, let's talk about self-motivation.
Yes, because not everyone has people around them to motivate them.
Sometimes you have to motivate yourself.
In English, you can say, I motivate myself by setting small goals.
Or, I stay motivated by focusing on progress, not perfection.
That's a very healthy way to think.
Another good sentence is, I encourage myself when things get tough.
Encouraging yourself is very important.
Now, let's talk about motivation and discipline.
Many people think motivation is enough.
But motivation alone is not always reliable.
Yes, discipline keeps you going when motivation is low.
In English, you can say, motivation starts the journey, but discipline keeps it going.
That's a very powerful sentence.
You can also say, even when I don't feel motivated, I stay disciplined.
That shows consistency.
Now, let's talk about motivation from dreams.
Dreams give direction to motivation.
You can say, my dreams motivate me to work hard every day.
Or, I am motivated because I want to achieve my dreams.
These sentences are simple but meaningful.
Now let's talk about motivation and fear.
Fear can reduce motivation.
Yes, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of mistakes.
In English, you can say, I try not to let fear control my motivation.
Or, even though I feel afraid, I stay motivated.
That shows courage.
Another good sentence is, fear pushes me to prepare better.
That turns fear into motivation.
Now, let's talk about motivation in learning English.
This is very important for our viewers.
Yes, many people start learning English but lose motivation.
In English, you can say, I stay motivated by practicing English every day.
Or, my motivation to learn English comes from my desire to speak confidently.
Confidence, again, plays a big role.
Yes, confidence increases motivation.
Another sentence can be, I remind myself that learning English takes time.
That helps reduce pressure.
Now, let's talk about motivation and comparison.
Many people compare themselves with others.
This can reduce motivation.
In English, you can say, I try not to compare my journey with others.
Or, I focus on my own progress.
That's a very healthy mindset.
Another good sentence is, everyone grows at their own pace.
This helps protect motivation.
Now, let's talk about motivation and routine.
Routine can support motivation.
You can say, having a routine helps me stay motivated.
Or, daily habits keep my motivation strong.
Small habits create big results.
Yes, consistency is key.
Now, let's talk about motivation during low energy days.
Everyone has low days.
In English, you can say, on low days, I try to do something small.
Or, I allow myself to rest, but I don't quit.
That sentence shows balance.
Balance is very important for long-term motivation.
Now, let's reflect on everything we discussed.
Motivation can come from goals, dreams, people, fear, discipline, or self-belief.
And everyone's motivation is different.
The most important thing is to express it honestly.
And in simple English.
In the next part, we'll talk about expressing motivation in different situations, like interviews, speeches, and daily conversations.
And we'll also practice longer answers.
So stay connected as we continue this meaningful conversation. That's very true. The way you talk about your motivation changes depending on the situation and the person you're talking to. Exactly. Let's start with a very common situation, talking about your motivation in a job interview.
This is where many people feel nervous.
Yes, because interviewers often ask, what motivates you?
And people don't know how to answer clearly.
The good news is, the answer doesn't need to be complicated.
For example, you can say, I am motivated by opportunities to learn and grow.
That sentence sounds professional and confident.
Another simple answer can be, I feel motivated when I see my work making a positive impact.
That shows responsibility and purpose.
You can also say, I am motivated by challenges that push me to improve.
This sentence is very common in professional settings.
Now let's talk about motivation in education.
Yes, students are often asked why they study or what motivates them.
In English, a student can say, I am motivated to study because I want to build a better future.
Or, my motivation to study comes from my desire to succeed.
These answers are simple and clear.
You can also be more personal.
For example, I study hard because I want to support my family.
That sentence shows emotion and responsibility.
Now let's talk about motivation in daily conversations with friends.
Yes, this is where English should sound very natural.
When friends ask, why are you working so hard? You can say, I'm motivated because I want to improve my life.
Or, I'm pushing myself because I have big goals.
These sentences sound very casual and real.
Now let's talk about motivation when giving advice to someone.
This is also very important.
In English, you can say, stay motivated and don't give up.
Or, remember why you started.
These short sentences are very powerful.
You can also say, believe in yourself and keep moving forward.
That sentence is encouraging and positive.
Now let's talk about motivation when you feel lost.
Yes, everyone feels lost sometimes.
In English, you can express this honestly.
For example, sometimes I feel confused, but I try to stay motivated.
Or, even when I don't have clarity, I keep going.
These sentences show emotional honesty.
And honesty makes your English stronger.
Now let's talk about motivation and long-term goals.
Long-term goals need strong motivation.
You can say, my long-term goals keep me motivated.
Or, I stay motivated by focusing on the bigger picture.
That sentence shows maturity.
Now let's talk about motivation and patience.
Yes, motivation doesn't always give quick results.
In English, you can say, I understand that success takes time.
Or, I stay motivated even when progress is slow.
That sentence shows patience and persistence.
Now let's talk about motivation and consistency.
Consistency keeps motivation alive.
You can say, consistency helps me stay motivated.
Or, I try to be consistent even when motivation is low.
That shows discipline.
Now let's talk about motivation and self-talk.
Yes, how you talk to yourself matters a lot.
In English, you can say, I remind myself that I can do it.
Or, I encourage myself to keep trying.
Positive self-talk increases motivation.
Now let's talk about motivation after success.
Some people lose motivation after achieving a goal.
But others feel more motivated.
In English, you can say, success motivates me to aim higher.
Or, achieving my goals gives me more motivation.
These sentences show growth mindset.
Now let's talk about motivation and pressure.
Pressure can affect motivation.
In English, you can say, too much pressure reduces my motivation.
Or, I try to manage pressure to stay motivated.
That shows self-awareness.
Now let's talk about motivation and environment.
Environment plays a big role.
You can say, a positive environment motivates me.
Or, being around positive people increases my motivation.
That's very true.
Now let's talk about motivation and inspiration.
Inspiration can boost motivation.
You can say, success stories inspire and motivate me.
Or, I feel motivated when I see others succeed.
That sentence shows positivity.
Now let's talk about motivation when things don't go as planned.
This happens very often.
In English, you can say, even when things don't go my way, I stay motivated.
Or, I adjust my plans but don't quit. That shows flexibility.
Now let's talk about motivation and self-respect.
Self-respect is a strong motivator.
You can say, I stay motivated because I respect myself.
Or, I don't give up because I value myself. That's very powerful.
Now let's reflect on everything we discussed in this part.
Motivation appears in interviews, studies, friendships, goals, patience, and self-talk.
And in every situation, simple English is enough.
The key is to be honest and clear.
In the next and final part, we'll bring everything together and end this conversation in a strong and meaningful way.
So stay with us as we move toward the final part of this journey. Now we are in the final part of our conversation, and this is the moment where we bring everything together. We've talked about what motivation is, where it comes from, how it changes, and how we can talk about it in different situations. Now let's focus on how motivation becomes a long-term part of your life.
Yes, because motivation is not just a feeling for one day. It's something that grows with you over time.
Exactly. Many people feel motivated for a short time, but then they lose it.
And that's completely normal.
What matters is how you respond when motivation becomes weak.
In English, you can talk about this honestly.
For example, sometimes my motivation goes down, but I don't give up.
Or, I accept low days and try again the next day.
These sentences show emotional balance.
Now let's talk about motivation and self-awareness.
Self-awareness means understanding your own feelings.
In English, you can say, I understand what motivates me.
Or, I know what pushes me forward.
Knowing your motivation helps you stay focused.
Now let's talk about motivation and identity.
Yes, motivation becomes stronger when it connects with who you are.
You can say, being a responsible person motivates me.
Or, my values motivate my actions.
That sentence sounds deep and mature.
Now let's talk about motivation and purpose.
Purpose gives meaning to motivation.
In English, you can say, having a purpose keeps me motivated.
Or, my purpose gives direction to my life.
These sentences are powerful and clear.
Now let's talk about motivation and daily effort.
Motivation is not only about big decisions.
It's also about small daily actions.
In English, you can say, I try to stay motivated by doing small things every day.
Or, daily effort keeps my motivation alive.
Small actions build strong motivation.
Now let's talk about motivation and setbacks.
Setbacks are part of every journey.
In English, you can say, setbacks don't stop me.
Or, I learn from setbacks and move forward.
That shows resilience.
Now let's talk about motivation and confidence.
Confidence strengthens motivation.
You can say, as my confidence grows, my motivation increases.
Or, believing in myself keeps me motivated.
Confidence and motivation support each other.
Now let's talk about motivation and mindset.
Mindset changes everything.
In English, you can say, I try to keep a positive mindset.
Or, a positive mindset helps me stay motivated.
That sentence is very common in motivational talks.
Now let's talk about motivation and self-respect.
Self-respect is a strong internal motivator.
You can say, I don't give up because I respect myself.
Or, I stay motivated because I believe I deserve better.
That's a very strong statement.
Now let's talk about motivation and long journeys.
Some goals take years.
In English, you can say, I understand that my journey will take time.
Or, I am patient with my progress.
Patience keeps motivation stable.
Now let's talk about motivation and gratitude.
Gratitude increases motivation.
You can say, I feel motivated when I appreciate what I have.
Or being grateful helps me stay positive.
Gratitude changes perspective.
Now let's talk about motivation and helping others.
Helping others can be a powerful motivation.
In English, you can say, helping others motivates me.
Or, I feel motivated when I make a positive difference.
That shows kindness and purpose.
Now let's talk about motivation and learning from others.
Learning from others keeps motivation fresh.
You can say, I learn from people who inspire me.
Or others' experiences motivate me.
That shows openness.
Now let's talk about motivation and balance.
Balance prevents burnout.
In English, you can say, I try to balance work and rest.
Or, balance helps me stay motivated long term.
That shows wisdom.
Now let's reflect on this entire journey.
We talked about motivation from many angles.
We talked about motivation in life, work, learning, failure, success, and self-growth.
And most importantly, we showed how to talk about motivation in simple, clear English.
You don't need perfect grammar.
You don't need difficult vocabulary.
You only need honesty and confidence.
If you can express your motivation, you can express yourself.
And when you can express yourself, your English becomes powerful.
We hope this full conversation helped you understand not only motivation, but also how to talk about it naturally.
Take these sentences, practice them, and use them in your real life.
Before we end today's video, we want to say thank you for staying with us till the end.
If this video helped you, inspired you, or improved your English in any way,
don't forget to like this video.
subscribe to Echo Talk Studio for more real English conversations.
Share this video with friends who want to learn English confidently.
And comment below about what motivates you in your life.
Most importantly,
Enjoy this video, keep learning, and keep growing with Echo Talk Studio.